Welcome to Countouts. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at the accounting rate of return, or the ARR. In our previous lessons, we've looked at the net present value, we've looked at the internal rate of return, as well as the payback period, and other lessons in line with those. So if you'd like to check those lessons out, you can click on the links in the description below. But what is the accounting rate of return? The accounting rate of return method takes the average accounting profit that the investment will generate and expresses it as a percentage of the average investment in the project as measured in accounting terms. So we're going to go through an example in this lesson where we explain just how to calculate the accounting rate of return, as well as its advantages and disadvantages. To decide whether the return is acceptable, we must compare the percentage with the minimum required by the business. If the firm has a target accounting rate of return, or ARR, less than the percentage achieved, then this investment is acceptable, otherwise not. So what we are saying here is that if a company says that we desire to have an accounting rate of return, for example, of 20%, when we do our calculations and we find that the accounting rate of return for a specific project or for a specific investment is 25%, that means it's higher than the one the company wants as the minimum required accounting rate of return. That means we will accept it. But if the company wants an accounting rate of return of, say, 20% still, but the accounting rate of return achieved after you do your calculation is 15%, then you're going to reject the project based on the fact that it does not meet the minimum required by the business. And that is what we use the accounting rate of return for. So what is the formula for the accounting rate of return? Here is the formula. The ARR is calculated as the average annual profits divided by the average investment multiplied by 100 divided by 1. So what is the average annual profits? How do we get that? Well, the annual average profits, we take the total profits for the entire investment divided by the number of years of the investment. So if the investment goes on for 4 years, we'll take all the profits for those 4 years and divide them by the number of years, which is 4 years, to get to the average annual profits. Very important also to note that we are talking about profits here. We are not talking about cash flows. So you may be given cash flows and you may be given profits as well. So you must remember that you use profits. That is what the accounting rate of return uses. And then how do we get our average investment? Well, we get our average investment by taking the initial investment, that is the required investment at the beginning, plus the salvage value or the residual value, and then divide that answer by 2 to get the average investment. So now that we know how to calculate the accounting rate of return, where we take the average annual profits, divide by the average investment, multiplied by 100, we can go ahead and take a look at this example and see how we do the calculation. So here's the example. And what I'd like encourage you to do here before I begin is that since you have the formula that we just mentioned, try and do the calculation yourself, and it will help you understand it further than someone who just follows along. Try and calculate it yourself and see if you're going to get the correct answer. And then, so you can pause here and then try it and then come back and watch the video. So I hope you have tried it on your own. So let's take a look at that formula again. Well, the requirement here is to calculate the accounting rate of return. What's the formula? The accounting rate of return equals to the average annual profits divided by the average investment multiplied by 100 divided by 1. And we had said that the average annual profits is the total profits achieved divided by the number of years. So let's read here the scenario. We are told that Discover Limited is considering a project with a required investment of 600,000 Rand, the details of which are below. Expected useful life is 6 years, straight line depreciation, with a salvage value of 150,000 Rand. The cost of capital is 13%, while the tax rate is 28%. Expected net profits are as follows, and we are given the net profits from year 1 to year 6. We are asked, obviously, to calculate the accounting rate of return. And we know the formula for the accounting rate of return. So the first thing we need to do is to find the average annual profits. So we take the total profits, divide by the number of years. Remember, we use net profits. So if you're given cash flows and net profits, use net profits. If you're given cash flows, you need to work back towards net profit. Then you'll just take the cash flows minus the depreciations to get the net profit. But here we are given net profits. So we add all the net profits together from year 1, 60,000 Rand plus 90,000 Rand plus 110,000 Rand plus 150,000 Rand plus 110,000 Rand plus 90,000 Rand. to get the total profits, and then we divide that by the number of years, which is obviously 6 years that we are given here, and we'll get the annual average annual profit. So I've already added them together. All of them come up to 610,000 rand, and I'll divide that by 6, and it gives me an average annual profit of 101,667 rand. So we have 101,667 rand as the average annual profits. Now let's look for our denominator, which is the average investment. How do we get average investment? Well, let's remind ourselves, it's the initial investment required plus the salvage value, if we have any, and divide that by 2. So let's look at our information again. We are told that the project requires the investment of 600,000 rand. So we already have our initial investment of 600,000 rand. So what will we do? We take our initial investment plus salvage value. Do we have salvage value? Yes, we do. We're told here that it has a salvage value or residual value of 150,000 rand. If you do not know what that is and you'd like to know that, we've done lessons specifically on those. You can click on the link on the top right of the screen, or you'll find the links in the description below as well. So the initial investment of 600,000 rand plus our salvage value of 150,000 rand, we get that answer and divide it by 2. So I've already done that. 600,000 rand plus 150,000 rand, which gives us a total of 750,000 rand. Dividing that by 2. Now that we have the average annual profits and our average investments, let's take our average annual profits, divide by the average investment, times 100 divided by 1, and we will get our accounting rate of return. So we're going to take the 101,000 rand, 101,667 rand, divide by 375,000 rand, times 100 divided by 1 gives us an accounting rate of return of 27.11%. And that is our accounting rate of return. So let me ask you, if the company said that we want a minimum accounting rate of return of 30%, and then you calculate and you find that it's 27.11% for this project, are you going to accept the project based on the accounting rate of return? No, you won't, because it's less than the minimum required by the company. But if it's 20%, for instance, or 25%, yes, we will accept the project because the accounting rate of return is higher than the minimum required by the company. And that is what we use the accounting rate of return for. Now, if you tried it on your own and you got the correct answer, well done. That means you understand this example. If you have not tried it, I would encourage you to rewind back and try and do the example, and then go follow along in the video and see that you understand how to do this one. Now, what I'd like to do just quickly is to show you the advantages and disadvantages of the accounting rate of return. Here they are. What are the advantages of the accounting rate of return? Well, it is relatively easy to calculate. As you've seen, the formula is very simple. The information is there and you'll be able to calculate it. What's the second advantage? Data that is needed for the calculation is easily available, and you'll easily find the data for the calculation of the accounting rate of return in your annual financial statement easily, or you'll be given, so you'll be able to calculate it very easy. Those are the advantages of the accounting rate of return. But what are the disadvantages of the accounting rate of return? Well, it ignores the time value of money, which is very important when you are valuing projects. The time value of money, the fact that money loses value over time, it ignores it because we didn't take any of that into account. We just added all the profits and divided that by the number of years, and then we divided that by the average investment. So it didn't take into account the time value of money, just like the other methods do, like the net present value and the internal rate of return. What is the next one? The salvage value may not be realistic. Now, again, for you, if you do not know what the salvage value is, make sure you check out that lesson. But the salvage value is what we're expecting to get back by selling what we have bought in the initial investment at the end of the period. So it may not be realistic. You do not know what you will get back as salvage value at the end of your investment period. The third one, it is based on accounting profits and not on cash flows. So as you can see, and I've mentioned it before, make sure you use accounting profits and not cash flows, because that's how we calculate the accounting rate of return. So it is based on accounting profits and not on cash flows. And remember, a better measure is using cash flows and not accounting profits. And we use cash flows when we are looking at the net present value, at the internal rate of return. Even the payback period uses cash flows. So this one is based on accounting profits and not on cash flows. That is one of the disadvantages. Another one, it is not an actual rate of return to be realized. So it doesn't mean, like for that example, we got 27.11%. It doesn't mean that you're getting a return, an actual return of 27.11% based on these other disadvantages that we have mentioned. I hope this lesson has made sense and you are now able to do the calculation for the accounting rate of return on your own. If you have gained value from this lesson, if you have learned something new, please click on the subscribe button below, like this video, and share it to those you think it might help. Till next time, cheers.